So the requirement of this particular sheet is that we use a macro to record the advanced filter. So step A is to use a VLOOKUP and fetch the supply code based on the company name that is selected here. So the details about the suppliers are available here, where you can see the company name and the corresponding supply code. So I'm going to use a VLOOKUP here using the company name to fetch the supplier code. This will be my table array, and I'm looking for value from column 2 and 0 to indicate that it is false. So every time when I change this, the value in the supply code will refresh and it will find the appropriate value. Now we have to use an advanced filter to find the item which are supplied by this particular supplier code from the garment sheet. So here we have the item description, wholesale price, supply code, and the item code. We are going to filter this based on the value supply code that we are going to select there. Before we see how to record a macro for the advanced filter, I would like to explain to you why we need a macro in this exercise. So I'm going to first use the advanced filter. The list range is where you have the data, which is sheet Task1 garment. Range criteria is these two cells, and copy to another location is this particular range. So when I click OK, this pulls the record from the garment sheet. Over here, only the garments which are supplied by ID 8, supplier ID 8. So this is the list of items which are supplied by this particular supplier. The issue with advanced filter is that when I want to see the details for another supplier, even though this refreshes when I change the company name, this will not automatically refresh. So what I have to do is I have to manually wipe this data and rerun the advanced filter. Now, to overcome this issue of every time whenever there is a change in the supplier code, I go back and rerun the advanced filter, we are going to use a macro to record the steps to run the advanced filter, so that once the macro is recorded, whenever we want to run the advanced filter, we will be calling the macro, and in turn the macro will be running the advanced filter. So we'll see how to record a macro. Go to the view, and here you will find the macros. Click the drop down and click record macro. It will prompt you for the macro name. You can give a unique name if you wish, or you can just leave it, but ensure that you remember the name of the macro that you are creating. Once you click OK, the macro starts recording every step that we make within Excel, and you can see the stop button available at the left bottom of your screen. You start recording the steps now to run the advanced filter as we did earlier. The list range is the data. Criteria range is these two cells, and copy to new location is this heading. Once it's done, the advanced filter works and the results are shown here. Now we are done with the recording, so you can click the stop button. The macro is stopped. Go to insert, find an appropriate shape, bring it here, make a right click. You'll find assign macro option. Select the macro that you have created, click OK. Now I can go and change it, so the supplier code changes. I click this, so it automatically refreshes. Now why there is no data is available here is the reason is that probably this supplier is not supplying any item. We can give a try with some other supplier. So ID2, click this button. You can see that we find set of items which are supplied by this particular supplier.